Thank you for tuning back in to another solo show of the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast. Excited to be with you today to talk about a topic that I think is going to be beneficial, whether you're a new coach or whether you're a seasoned coach in the midst of the hustle and bustle of a thriving practice. And the topic today is going to be how celebrating small wins or a gratitude mindset is incredibly important for the development of you as a coach, but also for the success of your business. So let's get into it. Really, the kind of relatable truth is that a lot of us are building businesses, and it's easy to think that you're not doing enough. We're living in a society where we can compare ourselves to just about anybody we would like to, and it's easy to kind of get in the mindset of, I'm not doing it fast enough. I'm not doing it good enough. I'm still not where I want to be. I'm not where I should be. And sometimes it really takes a minute to pause and realize how far you've come versus how far you still have left to go. And if we get hung up on the how far we have left to go, oftentimes it can feel more overwhelming. It can feel more daunting. So I think if you can build in small weekly practices, or they can be daily if it resonates with you, where you're looking at small wins or small pieces of gratitude, the neuroscience has proven that it's an incredibly useful way to keep your mindset in the right direction and kind of avoid those feelings of overwhelm, comparison, and whatnot. What is a small win and what is, kind of something that you want to be grateful for is going to vary from person to person. It's going to be different for everyone. It could be something like sending your first, scary email that feels like you're reaching out and asking for referrals, and it's something that's kind of uncomfortable for you. Or it could be saying no to a client that doesn't feel authentically aligned with you or your practice. It could be receiving constructive criticism or constructive feedback that maybe once would have kind of gotten you down, but you took it and you were able to kind of spin it in a way that actually it propelled you forward. Could be investing in mentorship. It could be, hearing from clients that they're feeling better already. It could be that you took a day off without feeling guilty and having, that lack mindset or the fear of, if I don't work today, I won't build X, or, I can't afford to take a day off. So it will look different for you, and you kind of want to sit down and maybe think about what are some of the things that mean a lot to you, and how can you recognize a lot of these small wins so that you can celebrate them in a way that really builds that gratitude practice. Neuroscience, like I said, supports this. Recognizing achievements releases dopamine and reinforces positive habits. It also compounds, right? The more that you celebrate, the more momentum you're building. Instead of shifting your brain towards scarcity, it shifts it more towards abundance. So look how many people I've already helped versus I don't have enough clients yet. And so again, keeping your mind focused on the positive with gratitude, and again, finding those small wins. They're everywhere. You just have to find them and train your brain to recognize them more often. I'm going to talk about 4 ways that it's really beneficial, but some, kind of examples could be that you do like the win of the week ritual, where every Friday you write down one thing that went right, big or small. These don't have to be huge wins. Sometimes they will be, sometimes they'll be really, really small. You got through your work week without losing your patience with your kids, and you showed up for your clients, right? Like there's lots of ways that you can create wins if you look hard enough that don't have to be incredibly huge things. Morning gratitude prompts. What am I proud of myself for having done yesterday, right? You can look back on the day before and set an intention for that day. Clients, celebration practices, with yourself. What have my clients been able to achieve based on my guidance? Visual reminders, right? You could do like a win jar where you put sticky notes in it and you can see it filling up. These are all ways to train your brain more towards the abundance and less from the scarcity mindset of I'm not where I need to or want to be yet. Okay, so let's get into the 4 ways that I think this is going to be beneficial for both you as a professional and also for your practice. The first one is it's going to build a resilient and positive mindset. So starting a health coaching practice or starting any business in general, right, is going to have moments of overwhelm. There's going to be times where doubt sneaks in, where you feel like it's too much. And there's so much to learn. There's so much to do. And a gratitude practice will really help shift the focus from what hasn't happened yet to what is working and what's happening. And like I said, that mindset helps to build resilience and keep discouragement at bay. Might it sneak in? Sure. Is it going to sneak in as much if you're kind of being more focused on the small wins, the gratitude? Probably not. Gratitude literally will train the brain to look for progress rather than problems. And it's essential, obviously, for early growth phases, whether it's business, whether you're just still learning, whatever goals you have, that's a really important aspect of it all. Okay, so that was number 1, builds a resilient and positive mindset. Number 2, reinforces confidence and motivation. So celebrating small wins, like maybe getting your first client or even doing your first discovery call, finishing your website, making your first program, right? It helps to reinforce self-belief. And each small victory is proof of progress, but you have to recognize the small victories in order for you to see that proof of progress, right? And for your brain to realize like, oh, this is going well. This is not going backwards. It's going forward. And new coaches often acknowledge the steps of, creating momentum and motivation. And they oftentimes will be like waiting for these really big milestones to feel successful. And that can feel too far away, I think, for some of us. And we have to build those micro wins along the way. You're going to have those big moments, of course, right? And those are going to feel wonderful. But in order to get there, sometimes recognizing the micro ones allows the brain to know that it's possible to build those big ones. And the big ones will come. But I think the resiliency and the rate at which you get there can be a little bit smoother if you train your brain to kind of have that gratitude mindset, that celebrating small wins consistently along the way. So number 2, reinforces confidence and motivation. Number 3, it strengthens authentic connection with clients, right? So practicing gratitude helps you stay empathic and present. And you want to be regularly acknowledging your clients' small wins, right? But if you're more attuned to your small wins, you're going to automatically be attuned to their small wins. You're also practicing what you preach, right? You would never, tell a client that their win was too small. You would never discourage a client from kind of celebrating their success too soon. And again, it's not that you want to be like, going crazy, celebrating every small thing that happens, but you want to train your brain to recognize these small, very important micro wins along the way so that it keeps you in that positive mindset going forward. It models the kind of mindset, again, to them that you want to inspire in their own lives and in their own health journey. It helps you celebrate their journey authentically, and your clients can feel that energy. If you're feeling grateful and you're feeling inspired by your practice, they're going to feel you show up that way, and they're automatically going to feel inspired to work hard in their own journey. So 3, strengthens authentic connection with your clients. Number 4, it can prevent burnout and keeps the joy alive. So when we're working in an empathic industry and we're doing lots of one-on-one work and support for oftentimes emotional health journeys for our clients, burnout is a possibility, right? But there is a lot of space in between the point where we feel really enthusiastic and burnout, right? And so if we want to prevent getting from the place where we feel really enthusiastic and completely gung-ho about our efforts and to the point of where we're completely burnt out, There's a lot of space in the middle to make sure we're always inching toward the enthusiasm and always inching towards the joy. And I think gratitude and kind of celebration is the way to make sure that we don't get to the burnout side of things. Early stages of building a business can feel a little bit like a grind. Some of the not so glamorous aspects, right? Building things in the background, a website, a payment system, social media. There's a lot that goes into it that isn't glamorous at first. And having to do those things takes a little bit of that, again, just go, putting your nose to the grindstone. And gratitude and celebration practices builds in that check-in reminder for you about why you started this in the first place, right? It wasn't to be better than so-and-so. It wasn't so that, you could, get famous on social media. It was so that you could help people. And if you can touch back in with your own gratitude for the ways that you've been able to show up and do that, you remind yourself about what this mission was all about in the first place, right? It turns the focus from constant striving to appreciation and the joy of the process itself. It's key for sustainable success. It keeps you aligned with your purpose instead of running on stress and comparison. Again, those things can sneak in. We can have days where comparison gets the best of us or the stressors get the best of us. But again, if we're trying to stay on the side of joy and enthusiasm, gratitude is a super powerful tool to help us do that. It's a way for us to stay closer to our mission, aligned with our purpose and aligned with our joy if we practice it every day, because our brains literally will not let us forget that exists, that the abundance is there, that the opportunity to help people is there, if we practice kind of that micro practice every day. So it's going to look different for everybody. Again, maybe you're a visual person and you want to write on sticky notes what you are grateful for at the end of each week and toss it in a jar. Maybe you like to journal. Maybe you like to draw and you want to draw, what your small wins are or what you're grateful for. And again, those things will look different for everybody. If you're naturally a people pleaser, building a boundary with a client might feel like a small win. If you are kind of more of an introvert, going to a talk and, talking about your business at a health food store might feel like a win. So if you get really honest with yourself about what maybe feels hard and how you're kind of breaking through that, that's going to kind of show you where the small wins lie. But even if they aren't things that feel hard, right? You just want to find things right so that your brain is like, yes, there's no choice but to succeed. We are moving in this direction. And again, it keeps you further away from feeling burnt out, from feeling like it's not possible. And it trains your brain to think that this is the only possibility. Okay. I hope you all enjoyed that you found that helpful. Certainly let us know if there's any topics that you want us to chat further about. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast, and would love to hear your comments below.